Scaling your business as a healer can actually feel effortless when you align with your own truth and intuition. When you tap into your soul, when you trust your inner knowing, not because you're making every decision emotionally or waiting for your spirit guides to tell you what's next, but because you've actually learned to listen to that full body yes or no and move with certainty. So in this episode, you can expect to hear how tapping into your intuition actually makes scaling easier. You're going to learn why clarity and aligned action are more powerful than following trends, and how your unique gifts as a healer give you a major advantage in business. So this episode is your loving kick in the ass to trust yourself more, to stop getting in your own way, and to let yourself scale with ease, because high 5 and 6 figure months are so much closer than you think, and you truly have a massive advantage over people who come into the entrepreneur space who have not done this deep inner work that I know you've already done for yourself. So let's dive into the power of your intuition when it comes to scaling. As a healer, I kind of just alluded to this, but you've already honed your intuition. You can sense energy. You can make decisions based on your own alignment. You can discern what's truly right for you. These skills are your greatest business strategy. We're going to talk about this in a future episode, but there's a million different strategies out there, and they all work. And you have to find the one that actually works for you, that doesn't drain your energy, that actually feels good, that actually works for you. And your intuition is the GPS that's going to help you get there. It's always recalibrating, it's guiding you towards your vision. Even if you miss a turn, it redirects you to get back on track. And you know that. You've experienced it in every other area of your life already, and that's why you are the powerful healer that you are. So the only question when it comes to your business is, are you listening? There are so many times in my businesses, in my clients' businesses, where there came a point that a bold decision needed to be made. Whether that was raising prices, launching a different program, closing a program that had been run for many years, saying no to an opportunity because it wasn't aligned. And a really significant one that comes to mind is, I want to say this was around maybe 2020, 2021. In the business I run with my husband, we had been talking about the same things over and over. That's what you do in business. But it felt like there was this opportunity arising that just kept coming up over and over, to be bolder, to be more opinionated, to allow our perspectives to piss some people off, and to allow other people to come even closer, to lean in further. And when we did that, our income exploded. When we finally allowed ourselves to say the things we were really thinking online, rather than saying, well, this is what my audience wants to hear, guess what? A lot of the people who weren't aligned with our message anyway finally left. And the people who were completely on board, they leaned in more. Our accounts blew up more. More people were able to find us more easily because we were being so crystal clear about what we were aligned with and what we weren't. That was based on listening to our intuition of like, I keep noticing these certain comments coming up of people sharing their opinions that we disagree with, and we're just kind of ignoring it. What if we actually start speaking out against that? What if we actually start sharing our opinion? Because that kept coming up when we listened to it, that's why we got the results that we did. So just a reminder, your intuition is not the emotional or reactive part that can come up at times when you're making an emotional or reactive decision, right? So exactly the same way you would with any other decision in your life, if you're debating a shift in a relationship, if you're considering a shift in your health or your diet, you're not going to just instantly make that decision reactively based on something that happened in your life. You're going to actually get quiet. You might do some practices. You might sit with it for a little while. You might make sure it's really true. And then you trust it, and you listen, and you take action. And something that I'm constantly reminding and inviting my clients into is, can you learn to trust that and take action faster? Can you continue to shrink the gap between, here's this intuitive nudge, and I've acted on it? Can you continue to shrink the gap in time? Again, the more you learn to trust your intuition in your business, the quicker your results are going to show up for you. So our next piece here, I want you to stop getting stuck in comparison. This is one of the biggest distractions that healers face, because you see, really anyone, but you see someone else's strategy, their branding, their launch, their social media, and you think, ooh, maybe I should be doing that too. Ooh, that worked for them. Maybe I should do that too. But I need you to know that their strategy, the way that they're showing up, whatever they're doing, that's designed for their vision, not yours. And on one hand, obviously, your vision might be very different to theirs. The way that you want your ideal life, your lifestyle, might be completely different to what is ideal for their lifestyle. The way that they're creating their business also might be it might feel completely different behind the scenes for them than what you're seeing publicly. Even sometimes when you're working with mentors, what you're seeing is different than what's happening behind the scenes for them. And as you get closer and closer and closer proximity, that's when you start to notice, interesting, there's misalignments here. There's things that are out of integrity here. And this is why it's so important for you to trust your intuition, to stay focused on your strategy, your vision, your mission, your purpose, rather than getting caught up in what everybody else is doing and comparing. Because you really, truly do not know what's happening behind the scenes unless you are talking to them every single day and hearing what's going on in their mind, and hearing what's going on in their business, hearing what's going on in their strategy every day. If you've got that level of proximity with that person, then yeah, totally. Believe them. But otherwise, my perspective on this is, I don't trust what anybody says. You've got to show me through your actions, through how you show up in the world, in order for me to trust that what you're saying online is true. I don't believe that anything online is true until they've proven otherwise. These are the only kind of mentors that I work with. Typically, it's people that I have watched online for years, and I've noticed consistency and congruency and integrity in their big picture branding, in their big picture messaging, in their big picture vision of who they are. And that's when I finally step in to work with them. And sometimes that means I take a while to make that decision, and other times that means I get into their low ticket spaces first and vet it out before I really allow myself to fully trust. So an example of this, you might get caught up in somebody else's $10,000 course launch, even though your soul is calling you to build a really intimate $50K a year retreat program. When you trust your own path and you stop wasting energy chasing someone else's path, magic happens. So a practical tip that I want to share with you is you can unfollow any accounts that make you feel small, that make you feel distracted, and instead I want you to curate an online space that energizes and inspires you. I'll share a little example here. Some really fun things that have been popping up on my Instagram recently. There's this lady who has, I think they're called Angora rabbits. They look similar to my bunnies, to one of my bunnies, Luna, the lion head, the really fluffy black one. They look similar to them, but they're huge. Both of our bunnies are dwarfs, and her bunnies are they're really big. And she shows videos of herself basically brushing them, getting all the extra hair off, and then she saves the hair, and she turns it into yarn, and she makes her own sweaters, scarves, all kinds of things from her bunny's fur. These are the kind of things that are lighting me up, that I'm allowing to be on my Instagram feed. There's a lot of visual AI accounts that just have gorgeous, colorful, whether it's home decor or outfits or makeup or whatever it is. I follow a lot of those accounts because that's what actually inspires me. It doesn't inspire me to follow a million different accounts of other business owners who are teaching business, which is exactly what I'm doing. So if you're a Reiki healer and you're following a million other Reiki healers, I encourage you to stop. I encourage you to unfollow them so that you can tune back into your own voice, your own intuition, your own vision, your own path, so that you can scale so much faster by staying laser focused in your own lane. Okay, moving on to our next section here. Why do leaders move quickly? This is another essential component of this episode. Scaling feels really, really easy when you learn to trust your decisions and act on them. Again, I kind of mentioned this earlier. Leaders in your space, the people that you look up to, the people that you're like, oh, why is she getting those results when I have way more experience than her? I have way more credentials. I have more certifications. I have more experience. The reason that they are making more is because they move quicker. They don't waste time overanalyzing or second guessing or trying to perfect what they want to do. They just move. So let's imagine a doula who keeps on stalling on her group program launch because she's waiting for it to feel perfect. And then let's contrast this with a healer who decides to launch even when it's messy. Maybe this is a somatic practitioner, and she wants to help women really feel confident expressing their pleasure in front of their partner. They've never done that before. They've always been really reserved and scared to show their pleasure. So the somatic practitioner who's doing that, she launches even when it's messy. She knows that she'll refine it as she goes. She knows that it'll continue getting better with practice over time. Guess which person is booking clients faster? So it's not about rushing through the process, but it's about recognizing that staying stuck is always a choice. You don't need to know every step. You just need to take the next aligned one. And I got into this a little bit in our last episode about your daily practices, but sometimes the next aligned step is taking a fucking break, is giving yourself a chill pill, is giving yourself a spa day, is going out in nature for the day and not doing work, not thinking about business, not thinking about client work, is giving yourself that vacation that you know you've needed, that you know you're massively overdue for. So the next time that you're feeling indecisive, I want you to ask yourself, if this was a full body yes or no, what would the answer be? Is this a full body yes, or is this a fucking full body no? I'm sure you guys have heard that quote. If it's not a full body fuck yes, it's a fuck no. What would the answer be? And then act on it immediately. Give yourself that ultimatum. Give yourself that clear black and white thinking. That can be a gift sometimes, especially as a business owner. The more that you continue to grow and scale your business, the more you're going to need to be capable of making quick decisions, sometimes without all of the potential pros and cons. Sometimes you're going to need to be able to make quick decisions, even if you're not sure if it's the right one or not, trusting that if it's not the right decision, you can fix it later. So our next section here, scaling is about service, not perfection. Have you noticed a trend here? As a healer, your work directly impacts other people's lives. And scaling is not just about making more money. It's about serving more people in a bigger and deeper, more meaningful, more powerful, more expansive way. So think about it like planting a garden. The more systems that you create, the more funnels, group programs, self-paced offers, the more seeds that you can plant and the more people that you can nourish. And so I always recommend just start with one. Start with one simple funnel, one simple offer suite. Keep it really simple. And then as you have more ideas, as things want to expand and grow, you can create more. You can fill different gaps. You can create all kinds of different things. But we want to keep the overall system simple. I have so many different clients who decided to shift from doing one-on-one sessions exclusively to doing group programs, and it allowed them to go from helping anywhere from like 8 to 15 clients a week to being able to serve hundreds of clients every week, sometimes thousands of clients every week, without burning out. Because they're really focusing on service rather than perfection. Your work really, really changes people's lives, so don't let fear or overthinking or perfectionism keep you small. You know this, but the world needs what you have to offer. So here's what scaling with ease really, really looks like. If you have not already, I highly recommend checking out my daily payment activation. It's my client's favorite practice in 7-Figure Freedom Method. Obviously, helps you connect with the energy of receiving daily payment notifications every single day. And this is what I want to guide you through, like a little baby version of it right now, okay? What scaling to multi-six figures with ease really feels like is you wake up to payment notifications from your group program. Your content is repurposing itself across platforms. You've got your team helping you with all of that. So you create one piece of content and then it gets repurposed on the other platforms. You're sipping tea, some that you just got from your most recent trip overseas. You're planning your next creative project. You've got retreats coming up. You're feeling super aligned with your business, the online and in-person components both. This is what scaling with ease feels like. So I want you to reflect on, where are you overcomplicating things in your business right now? And what is one aligned action you can take this week to move you closer to your vision? Okay, our main takeaways here that I want you to remember. Scaling as a healer is so much easier when you trust your intuition, when you stop comparing yourself to others, when you move quickly and decisively, when you focus on service instead of perfection. So I want you to know that 6-figure months are just around the corner when you fully trust yourself, when you show up with clarity, and when you scale in alignment with your own vision, with your own soul's calling, with your own path. The world is waiting for you to be the leader here. So let's move. And if this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear what actions you're taking. Tag me on Instagram at HeyMariahAnn and share your next bold move with me. I love to hear what you guys are doing. And if you're ready to dive deeper, join me in 7-Figure Freedom Method. This is where scaling gets to feel magical. You get ongoing, live, real-time, custom, unique support to help you move through whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're creating in your business right now. And you get templates, you get everything that you need to build out this system so that your business is really working for you rather than you being a slave to it. And if you're more of an appetizer girly, you can either DM me on Instagram, relaxed, or just check out the show notes down below. I have a free training called Relaxed Recurring Revenue that's going to give you a really nice behind the scenes of all of this if you want to check that out first before 7-Figure Freedom Method, but that's really where the magic happens. And if you already have a bunch of different programs, you've got 10K months on lock, and you're really ready to scale to 20K months and beyond, you're ready to do that in a way that gives you energy, ask me about the Vibrant Year Mastermind. I'll see you guys next week.